Sorry, everybody. This is try number 2. We've had to do this before, and I don't know what happens, but it's just crazy when it won't let you. It's like the software gets a glitch or whatever. Anyway, we're going to get Kelly on here in just a minute, so y'all just have a little patience with me, and I apologize for the technical difficulties. The internet is not always friendly, so we have to be ready for the unexpected, and we'll make it work. We should, if Instagram would allow us, I could play some real fancy music right now, but every time I've ever tried to even have a sound clip playing in the background, and Instagram's like, nope, shut it down. So let's see if Kelly will rejoin. Hello, Kelly. Y'all got to give us patience. I don't know. There's Yvonne. What's up? Phil, what is the username on Connect? My username on Connect is @PWSING. It is also my webpage, pwsing.com. So that's where you can find out all of my tips, tricks, videos, posts, recipes. All that is there. But that's my Connect name. I do also have an Instagram under the same name. It's a private Instagram. But anyway. We have lost Kelly. Somebody okay, so we're gonna. This is not as advertised, but I love it.
Hey, sorry about that. My phone would not do it. I mean, this last time it wasn't even showing that, giving me an option. So.
You know what? We're going to have to run down to the Apple store and get you a new phone.
I've got AT&T and Heidi has Verizon, so maybe Verizon's better right now where we're at.
I don't know. Well, but it may confuse people, but we'll just let Heidi's Instagram channel roll with me. I love it.
Hey, we're here.
We're here. We made it. Yeah, man, I'm super excited to get to chat. Like, it's so great. There's not enough bros out here that get to do this, and it's just cool to every once in a while have a guy on and just share and talk about what WW means to you.
Exactly. And I first off, I want to say thank you so much for inviting me to be on this. Watched your lives weekly. They're great. And
yeah.
So honored when you asked me to join. And I know it was supposed to be maybe next week, but we moved it up. It was great. So
yeah, I'm glad it worked out. You get to be on here, and it also is helping the person that's going to be on next week, because the truth about the why we needed to switch is she had it all planned out, and then somebody gave her a Christmas present, and that Christmas present was like tickets to a Broadway show. And it's on that day of the month, or tonight, so they couldn't come on tonight. They're at the show tonight, so next week was better for them, and this week works for you, so it's just great. So
yeah,
anyway, thank you for being flexible, and I appreciate it. But I always like to start and find out, like, we'll go over and as we go through this and talk about all the tenets of WW, food, mindset, activity, all of that, and then at the end I'll let you ask me any questions you want to ask me. But I like to start with finding out, like, where you were as a guy or whatever, and when you found out that WW existed, and how long you've known about WW, and how many times you've tried it, where you tried it, and where you were when you tried it this time, when it worked, and all that stuff.
Okay. Well, WW, Weight Watchers back in the day. I remember in 2003, my aunt was here from New Orleans, and she was actually a lifetime member, and she had lost 100 and some pounds at one point, and she had gone back and gained her weight back. So she was up. I lived in Indiana. She was there visiting family, and she said, Kelly, she said, I'm going to take you to Weight Watchers, because at the time I was about 320 pounds, I think.
Mm.
And she said, what do you think about joining Weight Watchers? She said, I'd like to pay for you to join. And so I was on board with it because I was desperate and, you know, I needed to do something. So, and I knew it worked for her. And just like, as you know, as a Weight Watcher bro back then, I was like, I thought it was for women. I mean, I was like, but you know, if they do allow men, I'll be glad to join. So I joined with her. I had success. I think I lost maybe 40 pounds, 50 pounds, something like that. And then, you know, slid back into my old ways and it didn't work out. But I knew that was a good starting point for me because I knew it worked.
Yeah.
You know, it did. It was back in the day when they had the little sliders and, you know, it was a little bit of a different program back then, but you did count points and all that. They really weren't focused on activity at all. That was not a big thing. So I joined that, and then going forward, I'm going to say probably 10 to 15 times I joined. I mean, there was times where, you know, I was all in. It was usually, you know, January and then maybe mid-year, maybe in the fall, whatever, to try to get ahead of Christmas and all that. But, you know, there was a few times where I went to one meeting, I signed up, you know, told everybody, man, I joined Weight Watchers, and didn't even go back.
Yeah.
A couple times I had success where I lost another 30 pounds and whatever. But it was just a pattern. You know, mainly every January 1st was diet time, and so I'll join Weight Watchers. But, and then the best success I had was actually in 2009. I went to Weight Watchers with another Weight Watcher bro, with a buddy of mine.
Okay. We
joined Weight Watchers, and I lost 50 pounds, and I think he lost like 40. And I think when I hit that celebration, I thought it was time to celebrate. So I think we celebrated with some beer, pizza, and I'll get back on it next week kind of thing. And then that's when, you know, I once again, you know, the next year I actually have a picture on two different fishing trips. One was in 2009 when I was down, you know, 50 some pounds. And the next year in 2010 on the same fishing trip, and I was right back where I started. I mean, I was probably bigger than ever. And then on that fishing trip, the year after I had success on Weight Watchers, I actually blew my knee out on the fishing trip the first day.
Oh.
Like 350 pounds. And, you know, if you're in the boat fishing and, you know, you got to stabilize yourself, you know, and I mean, it was bad. The whole week was bad. And that I struggled for years until 2015 at Christmas. I actually had I had my second knee surgery after the first knee surgery in 2010. And my doctor actually told me, he's like, listen, he's like, where we did the knee surgery was in a very complex area. With your weight, you know, you're only 45 years old and you're headed for knee replacement. I mean, it's going to keep this weight on, you know, and he explained how much weight affects your knees and all that. So that was in the fall of 2015. And so at Christmas of 2015, I was like, man, I got to do something. There's a picture out there. I'm sure you've seen it where I'm sitting on a couch. You know, I've got this belly.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just miserable. I mean, literally miserable. And New Year's Eve, I'm sitting in my big man chair and got on my computer and joined Weight Watchers. I mean, I go back and think about that night. You know, I joined. It was a pre-registration kind of thing, and you kind of had to pick a meeting, and I'll go on Tuesday. And that Tuesday, which was January 5th of 2016, I pulled into a parking lot at a church, and I sat in the parking lot in my truck with a hand on the, you know, gear, and I actually put it in reverse.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, you know, what am I doing? I remember saying, why am I doing this again? You know, it's not going to work. There's no way it's going to work. You know, what am I doing? I'm going to fail.
Yeah.
But I put it back in the park, turned my keys off, turned the car off, and I went in a little church, and it was all women. There wasn't one man in there. And I walked in, and I kind of, as soon as I walked in, I'm like, oh, man, what am I doing? Maybe I should leave, but everybody's looking at me. So I stood in the line, and I jumped on the scale, and I went through with it, 337.8, January 5th of 2016, and no looking back after that. I came home after the meeting. They gave me some stuff, and told me about this Weight Watchers Connect app.
Yeah.
Home that first night, and I got on Connect, and I think I did a post, here I am, tired of being fat. I actually went way back to my original post, and I hashtagged it so I could, look at it. But I think I said something like, just started, tired of being fat, and I think the difference was Connect. And having a community where other people were going through the same thing, and I posted a few times, and people would respond, and so fast forward to today, January 5th of 2016, and here I am. I'm at Lifetime. I'm a Weight Watcher Lifetime member. Down over 100 pounds. I've got my life back.
Yeah.
And I'm living again. It's just been my head spins when I think about it. And like you said, being a bro, a guy, seeing some other guys on Connect and finding that WW Bros hashtag, and seeing other guys going through the same thing really helped with me, because my meeting was all women. But I went every week, followed the program. I moved. I'm not a gym guy. I never was a gym guy through this whole thing. Tried the gym. I'm like, I'm going to join a gym, but it was mainly walking for me. I mean, the activity was walking.
Yeah.
And so I guess that's it. I mean, here I am. I mean, I
yeah.
just tried to. I'm a storyteller.
Yeah. So
I like to go on and on. I could probably.
Hey, that works well when we got a venue where we need somebody to talk for a full hour. So that's great. So what my question is, and we'll just kind of start to dissect a lot of the things that you said, and what my main question is, what after you got out of the truck, like I know for a lot of people, it is a hard thing to do that because you're walking in there and you have so many variables that you don't know. And a lot of these people that would ever watch this video, now that I save them and put them on YouTube, might be watching one of these before they ever go to WW. So like, what do you feel like it was like the first 2, 3, 4 weeks that was different than all the other times when, you were building up the gas to tell yourself to quit, just put it in reverse and let's go home. Like what was different this time?
Well, I can't really tell you what was different that kept that, kept me there and putting it in park and going in. I really don't know. I look back and I don't know why I decided to go in. I mean, I had done it many times before when I Weight Watchers, but I think, going to the meeting every week, reaching out on Connect. I mean, funny story, I joined on a Tuesday night, and that weekend, I killed it. See, going way back, I was always an all or nothing kind of guy.
Okay, there we go.
Hey, there's some light.
Better?
There's some light.
Hey, Heidi.
Hi. He looks so dark.
She's doing the studio.
It's too dark.
Oh, boy.
I got one of those too, so it's all right. Because it used to be a part of my face you couldn't see, so I got a light shining above me. So,
no, I feel better now. I feel like you can see me.
Yeah.
But a funny story. I joined on a Tuesday night, and I killed it. I've always been an all or nothing kind of guy. I mean, that was my. You're either on it or you're not. Even my dad used to say through sports, and back in the day, he was a big dieter too, and he would say, you're either on it or you're not. If you're not, get off of it.
Yeah.
That was my dad. And Weight Watchers was always good for me because it wasn't that kind of program. You could have a piece of cake and not go crazy. You had your weeklies. And so you could have, some treats and not go completely hog wild. But the
Yeah.
first week, Tuesday night I joined, killed it during the week, kept on point, and then that weekend there happened to be some Christmas stocking candy in a bag.
Yeah.
You took all the candy that we didn't eat and put it in a bag, and I stood at my stovetop eating candy at 11 o'clock at night on a Saturday night. And I ate candy, piece of candy after piece of candy after piece of candy. And the whole time I was doing it, I'm thinking to myself, here we go again. It's it. I'm not going to make it. And then Tuesday rolled around, and I had, in my mind, even said, I'm going to wait and go to a meeting on Saturday because I knew what I did on the weekend.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of snow that day, and I went out and shoveled the driveway, and I really had a really good workout. And I hopped on the scale, and I was pleasantly surprised that I was down from where I was the week before. So I went to my meeting that first week, and I was down 7.2 pounds. So one night, it just shows that one day is not going to define.
Yeah.
I mean, it can hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
But, I had a night where I ate some candy. I got back on it on Sunday. Sunday I was following, so basically it was my weeklies. I blew my weeklies on a Saturday night and probably a little bit more, but I was very active. Started off with my journey on that Tuesday, and I started off walking right off the bat. I mean, I was a walker. So then there was just no looking back. After that first 7.2, man, it was every week I went on Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. It was all women, and it was always kind of a show. How much is Kelly going to lose? And sometimes I sat down at the table, and I got some evil eyes, man. How much did we lose this week? 3.2?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, you lost, And so, anyway, it was and that was, as a guy, it was tough enough going to a meeting every week with all women, but they that felt the guys had a the upper hand with this, and that we had some kind of benefit, and we lost weight faster, even though which is kind of true. We have testosterone, and maybe we do lose a little bit. Tough for us too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I killed it. I did really good pretty much every week, and then I finally had a gain. I think it was a 3.2, and then in the fall, I had a buddies weekend in Indiana for a college buddies weekend. I went completely off the rails. So from October of 2016 until I hit goal on March 2nd of 2017, I only lost 17.8 pounds. I mean, I was, I killed it pretty good, and then I had to take my foot off the gas.
Yeah.
Just say, I got to figure this out. And it was really good for me because it was a slow end to hitting goal, and it kind of taught me what lifetime is going to be about. It's not losing tons of weight every week.
Oh yeah, and you can't arrive at maintenance driving 100 mile an hour and expect to be able to just park that thing.
Exactly.
Absolutely cool deal. So yeah, I would almost think that first week, the moment that you had at the stove right there having the snacks, whether or not that's good or bad, I think it would be to some degree good, because it imprints on your brain that, oh wait, I can actually live this, or I can maybe even call that a screw up, but I can live with the screw up, because you're not seeking perfection, you're seeking your perfect. Right. I always say, WW says progress, not perfection, and I always say that I don't believe in that statement. I was like, whatever you do that's perfect for you, that is perfect. So seek that perfect thing. Whatever it is that works for you specifically, because we can always say that, WW says this, WW says that, but, my body is not going to comply to what they say. And that's so great about my WW is whatever you think works for you, if it's working, work it, So that's pretty awesome that you had that moment. I feel like maybe could even have propelled you in the aspect of not getting into the all or nothing mentality that would ultimately run out of gas, and then you're like, well, I'm gonna go all or nothing the other way.
Right. And like you said, I'm like you. you have to work the program for you.
Yeah.
For somebody else, may not work for you. I mean, you know, you just have to stay in your lane, and you gotta figure that out. And for me, having a night or two where I used all those weeklies, for me, that worked. Yeah. But very active too. I walked a lot. I got my, and you know, weeks when I wasn't able to exercise as much, I couldn't use the weeklies. If I did Blue Dot every day for 2 weeks, those were the weeks I lost the least amount of weight.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. If I was on point, Blue Dots, no weeklies used, those were the weeks I would lose 0.8, 1, nothing. So the weeks where I used all my weeklies one day and maybe left 3 points on the board one day or 4 points on the board one day, and then one night went ahead and used all my weeklies, those were the weeks I had my best weeks, and I needed that. I needed but that worked for me. Yeah. It worked for you that way. Somebody else, Blue Dots every single day may be the best for them. That's for them. I had to figure it my way. And, you know, it took me 14 months to lose. You know, it took me 14 months, 117 points. And I think lifetime. Is it 4 years?
What's it?
Yeah. Or no,
it's
3 years.
Yeah, it'll be 3 years, I guess, in March or whatever.
Yeah, 3 years in March will be at goal, and then in April will be 3 years of lifetime, which I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
And I mean, and crazily, I guess you're now like you've been at goal longer than you were trying to get to goal, at least on this most recent start. So like you're on the second half of this journey. So like you're maintenance more than you know the actual loss part. So does that feel different?
Oh, it feels different. It's and you know, it's not easy. You know, the goal that I hit was actually a doctor's note goal. I'm 6'3", and you know, the charts say that I should be 195 at the tops. Yeah. Goal. Well, 220 for me. I mean, when I was in high school, I played 3 sports, and I was 225. You know, I was a big dude. So my doctor, you know, gave me a note for 220, and that's 220 is really good for me. I mean, I'm actually, you know, I look pretty thin, you know. Yeah. So then after I hit lifetime, I had a heck of a time maintaining that 220. So I went to my doctor, got all my blood work, made sure that I was healthy, and you know, looked at my activity level, and my goal was raised to 230. So 230 has been where I've stayed pretty much for 3 years. And do I see 240 on occasion? It's happened. I mean,
after a cruise.
To be honest with you, Phil, Wednesday of the cruise, Heidi and I said, let's go down and weigh. Let's see what it is. Let's see how bad. And I'm not kidding you. I was 253. Whoa. We're talking the morning I left for the cruise. Well, was I 237 or something? So I was already up a little bit.
Like when 15 pounds.
Yeah. And we're talking, you know, sodium, water retention, traveling, you know, drinking. Yeah. You know, so that was a gut check right there to see 253. Yeah. You know, so what I did was went right to the buffet. Yeah. But
let me pour some gas on this thing. Let it go.
Yeah, put it out, man. But I will say this: we didn't go too crazy with eating. We ate what we wanted, but I'm telling you right now, we took the steps everywhere we went, and I bitched about it the whole time. But we took the steps, and the last day of the cruise, I got 18,000 steps and over 100 flights of stairs. I mean, so So, you know, we moved. I mean, there was 15,000 steps every day. I mean, every 15,000 steps. And we got a lot of moving in and stuff like that. And then when I got back, you know, I got on the scale, I think I was 242. And, you know, it just, you know, I was like, okay, don't let it bother you. You know, it's, you know, you had fun on the cruise. You're up 12 pounds from goal.
Yeah.
And I'm still not back to my goal, but, you know, I'm heading in the right direction. You know, there's no timeline. I mean, that's one thing I tell people about your journey. This is for the rest of your life. Once you decide you're going to do this, this is for the rest of your life. Right now, I'm at a little higher than I want to be, but I'm not going to get wrapped up in a timeline. I'm not going back to 337.8.
Yeah.
I'm not 250. I'm tell you right now. But you know, I'm going to get back down to 220 at some point. I know I am going to do it, but I have no timeline. I'm not in a race. This is for the rest of my life. Right now, I'm a little bit up, and I'm enjoying food a little bit more, little treats now and then, and maybe not moving as much as I should. You know, working a lot and whatever. But you know,
you got to give yourself some grace, right? You're going to have a birthday soon. It's a pretty big number, right?
Mm-hmm. I'll see 50 next Wednesday, which is
I know it's going to be so exciting. So, all right, so let's start talking about some of the WW specific stuff. So, how do you do your food? Like, let's talk about actual food. Like, how do you prepare your day, your week? Like, what does eating look like for you on a normal non-cruise week?
I'm very, very good during the week. I pack lunch. I track. I don't go. I try not to eat out.
Yeah.
I really try to cook on the weekends. Heidi helps me. The two of us love to cook.
Yeah.
So we cook on the weekends. I have to work every Saturday. I work a long shift on a Saturday. I work 11 hours. We have on Saturdays, every Saturday, food is catered and rotate, you know, Chick-fil-A, Olive Garden, and, you know, I eat it and I track it, and whatever it is, if it's mushroom ravioli or whatever, I eat it and I track it. So I do really good during the week. I try to my lunch. I eat for breakfast. A normal breakfast for me, I love eggs. I mean, 3 fried eggs and Sara Lee 45-calorie bread, a couple pieces of bread with 3 fried eggs and a couple slices of bacon.
Wow. Yeah.
Fills me up. It's 8 points, ending 10 points maybe. And that's my go-to breakfast. 3 eggs, 2 slices of 45-calorie bread, which is 2 points. A couple slices of bacon, which is 2 points. So, you know, that's my go-to breakfast. And I buy deli meat, you know, chicken breast, roast beef. I love boar's head.
Oh yeah.
Kroger. And then or I prepare something on a Sunday and then I have leftovers all week.
Yeah.
Heidi came down and visited me this last weekend, and she brought down this healthy beef stew, and you know, I ate it all week, every day. I took it to work, and so I'm Blue Dots every day of the week. I mean, I do my best.
Yeah.
I walk a lot at my job. I mean, I sell cars. I have a huge lot that I work on. We have about 300 cars in inventory. So I walk a ton. I probably get 15,000 steps a day, unless we're really slow, and then I'll get, you know, 8,000, something like that. So I don't go to the gym.
Yeah.
I haven't been walking for exercise lately. I used to all the time. I walk a lot at work. I'm very active at work. I'm moving around, so that works for me. In my mind, I say, guys, I need to get to the, you know, I'm a member at Planet Fitness. You know, I go on occasion, but I just, you know, I just don't go as much as I should. I mean, I see all the gym videos that you post and other people post. I'm like, man, I need to start hitting the weights. I've been saying that forever.
Yeah.
I just I just haven't, you know.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's really, it always boils back down to the thing of like, you got to do what's best for you. And what's best for you is I think something that you need to assess like in segments. And one of those segments would be today. You never want to do something that's not good for you today. Like if your body's not feeling it, don't push through like and do something that's bad for you. Now, if you're just like feeling bad for you, now if you're just like feeling like you need a pep talk, you might need to push through that. But there's a difference, and knowing your body well enough to understand that is key, because you can make yourself do something you don't want to do and you get no enjoyment out of it. You might burn a few calories, but if you don't truly enjoy it, it's not sustainable. So that's one thing with me is like always doing something that's sustainable so that it's duplicatable for me, and that I will want to do it, and I'll do it without having the whole shame, regret, remorse, that kind of stuff. And I, like you, I lost 100 pounds my first year without going to the gym one time. Now I have incorporated the gym since December of 2018, and I've lost another like 46.5 pounds, which is way slower than the first year, which some people might not make sense. But I've also like gained in like inches lost. I've gained in strength. I couldn't bench 120 pounds when I first started, and I recently benched 215 like 14 times. So that's totally different than what I started in doing. But you know, that's like my personal thing that I want to do, and I enjoy doing that. And it is by no means like work or even much effort. Like I love to do that, but that wasn't always that way. So that's why I always encourage people is like, you have to find that thing that makes you feel like you're actually getting a little bit of joy. Now, for you, like walking around in the car lot is probably the thing that will lead you to see the next person that could potentially buy the next car, rather than just sitting on your can waiting on somebody to walk through and, you know, inside there with all of those 22-year-olds that are trying to sell cars that way.
Right. And I that's the thing. You know, I go out on the lot when we're dead, and I walk in. We have a huge lot, and I'll walk around. I'll walk, and, you know, I get my exercise walking, and just with all the activity of going out and getting cars if we're busy and stuff like that. So, you know, and then once it gets nice, I'm an outdoors person.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, therapy is out in the woods, out walking on trails. So as soon as it gets nice again, I won't do the walking at work in circles. I'll go out in the woods and find me a trail, and I'll try to knock 10,000 steps in before I go to work. And so that's the thing, and it works for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'd like to be buff, and I'd like to start building some muscle, and maybe someday I will, but you know, I'm just not that guy, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, you know, that's the great thing is like, you don't have to be anybody but you, and who you are is enough. Like you like living in that moment. That's the mindset thing. Like, what do you, that's one thing I want to always ask is like, how do you feel like your mind has changed? Like how have you changed at all of like how you think about yourself when you see yourself in the mirror, and how you see like how that you're worth telling yourself no sometimes, and sometimes you're worth taking a trip and telling yourself yes sometimes. Like, how do you feel? How do you approach that side of WW?
Well, I'm more confident now than I've ever been in my life. I mean,
Okay.
I've struggled with anxiety my whole life.
Yeah.
Even back in high school with sports and stuff, my anxiety was ridiculous. Through WW, and you know, it really helped me. You know, especially in my job too. I'm finally working a job that I enjoy.
Yeah.
I work in manufacturing as a supervisor. I always felt like I was in over my head, and I just didn't like it, and I was miserable going to work every day. So I finally found a career where I'm good at what I do. I basically I'm nice. I help people look for the car for their family, and I enjoy it. I really enjoy what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I'm confident in my ability, and I'm confident that I got WW thing figured out. You know,
Yeah.
I can enjoy treats. I can enjoy a couple beers now and then. I can enjoy going out and, you know, and stuff like that. So, and, you know, some nights I go home from work after a tough day, and I think, man, you know, I want to go in and grab a peanut butter and some crackers and sit there, and I have to stop and say, okay, you know, how many points you got left? I've had enough to eat. You know, I had a nice dinner at work. I'm not really hungry. Do I need to do that?
Yeah.
And so I just have to stop myself and just think. Because I was reactive. I would go in the kitchen. Hey, I'm hungry. Go through the cabinets and just sit down and chow down because I wanted to grab chips and eat the whole bag of chips. So, you know, I'm a lot more confident in my whole life because of the weight loss and how I feel and the feedback I get from people that tell me I look good. You know, hey, you look great. When I have customers sitting across from me and they're like, you know, we're having a conversation, they're waiting to go into finance, we're talking about life, and I say, hey, you know, this is what I used to look like. And they're like, my God, you know, you don't look like somebody that was ever even heavy, you know.
Yeah.
And so just the feedback and how I feel is so much better than diving into a bag of chips.
Yeah.
You know, because when I do, and I do have moments, I'm not perfect in any way. I have my moments where I get weak and much in the evening if I'm stressed, and how I feel that next morning versus how I feel that next morning when I know I was on point. I got my steps in. I followed the plan. I feel so much better that next morning when I wake up versus the morning I wake up when I really was not a dude, you know, and I ate a bunch of, you know, the perfect example is Christmas. You know, the holidays, you know, I ate a lot of stuff. I ate a lot of stuff at Thanksgiving. I enjoyed it, but I probably ate more than I should have. I just didn't feel good about what I had done, you know. It's like, did I need cookies and, you know, stuff like that? So I just think waking up in the morning after I've, you know, done good and, you know, followed the plan is just feels so much better than waking up the day after you go out for a crazy dinner and eat and drink too much.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, this is how I feel about it. And you can tell me what you think about this. But, like, losing the weight, and I say this almost every week, that losing the weight is a symptom of what was going on in our life. And as we correct that, we were able to expose what was going on in our life, and then we see that and we can correct that. WW is a great tool for that correction. But prior to that, we have to get back to that spot to where we're connected with our bodies, where we're actually having a real-time assessment of what my body needs. That assessment, when you have a lot of weight, a lot of times just goes away. It's the gas station food. It's this kind of stuff that you can mindlessly consume without actually engaging of whether or not my body is hungry. There's a lot of eating that happens, but it's not a lot of feeding. And so that whole mentality as we get on WW is the same thing that will empower you once you're there to live in that moment, and you then can parlay that into so many other areas of your life. So like when you know that I could lose 100 pounds, well, I can definitely sell you a car, or I can definitely do this for you because I believe in myself. And that's where we get to the thing, and this is a Simon Sinek thing, but like every company has what, and every company has a how. But if you'll explain to me the why, then you're going to get into my core of why, the purpose that I would ever want to be with you. Like everybody has a what, and your competition has the same what, and everybody has a how. They built the car the same way, but the why you should buy the car, or why you should, whatever the service is, mine is in dental or whatever, the how and is the middle. But that why, and that's the same thing with WW, and WW talks about it all the time. When you have to find your why, you know. So like, what do you feel like your why was? Like, you know, 2016 or whatever, you hit that strike gold moment where you figured out, oh my gosh, Kelly's worth something. You know, what did you start putting equity into your why?
Well, I mean, I was just tired. Sorry. I was just, every time Weight Watchers, I was just tired of feeling miserable. I was tired of temporarily fixing deep pain with food.
Yeah.
You know, I thought, you know, because it was such a long road to get some pounds off, that it was, I really didn't believe it. You know, I think the why this time was just, you know, the knee, you know, my doctor telling me, you know, hey, you're going to need a knee replacement at 45 years old. And my father-in-law at the time, you know, he had a double knee replacement. I saw what he went through. And, you know, my doctor was like, you can get a knee replacement at 45, but they're only good for about 20 years, you know. And so that was in my head, you know. I was in pain. My body hurt all the time. And so, you know, just like every time I joined Weight Watchers, it was the same why. I was tired of being miserable. I was tired of being in pain. Tired of being embarrassed. I was tired of hiding behind people. I was tired of, you know, seeing my picture and being like, God, is that really me? You know, and I was just so tired, you know, existing and not happy with myself. And so, you know, my why never changed. I wanted to feel good. I wanted to look good. I wanted to know what was under that, all that fat, and what I was capable of at a normal weight. You know, I wasn't a heavy kid. I played a lot of sports growing up, but I was a big kid and probably, you know, carried more weight than I should have. But it was when I hit my late 20s when I just kind of just gave up, and the weight just came on. My dad passed away when I was 30. He was 58 years old, and he was, and then that's when my weight trouble really took off. And so from 30 to, for 15 at least, I was miserable, man. Yeah. And so what I did to not feel miserable, I'd eat more, you know. Yeah. I'm fat already. You know, I can't lose 100 pounds overnight, but I can sure dive into a bag of chips and it'll make me feel good for a little while. Yeah. You know, hit it day after day after day. So when in 2016, when I went after it again, and I just was chasing, you know, feeling good, you know, and just, and I had no idea, Phil, that what would happen. I mean, there has been so much good that has happened through all this. I mean, my whole man, the love of my life. I got my life back. I was in some Weight Watchers commercials. It was some exciting stuff, but the key is that where I should be, you know, I feel great in my skin. I'm proud. I'm confident, you know. I feel like I could tackle anything, you know. Yeah. You know, I used to live my life in fear, and, you know, and being 337, you know, I was scared of everything because, you know, I just didn't have the confidence. You know, I just felt like crap. I felt like everybody was better than me, you know, and they got it all together over there, you know. Yeah. And, you know, I found my worth, and I feel like I'm together now, you know, and it feels great. When I say I've got my life back, that anybody can say that, you know, you got your life back. Okay, whatever. You lost some weight and you got your life back. That's real. That's some real, those are words. Those are real words. I got my life back and I'm living again. And I'm living a dream right now, actually. And it's fantastic, and it's not stopping now. And there's big things. I know that my life going forward, I'm never going to see, I'm never morbidly obese again. I can tell you that. I'm not going back there. And, you know, I love it. It's too good. So too good. Like Weight Watchers used to say, hey, nothing tastes as good as being thin feels. You know? That was their thing. And that, you know, there's something to that, you know, and I'm not thin by any. I feel damn good.
Yeah, that's the best part. Like, and you did it your way. You did it in ways so that as things come back up in life, and surely they will, that you can recognize them, and you know, well, this right here is the line in the sand. I'm not going past this. I'm going to do this, even when hard things come up, or when great opportunities come up, such as the cruise or whatever, you know how to experience that and navigate through it. And I think a lot of that is so healthy to go back in and, you know, reconnect those memories and those emotions of what the past Kelly would do and how the new Kelly will navigate through these moments. And you actually are, like you say, living a new life in those moments where, you know, as the weight has gone, the new you gets to experience that, and those experiences can overwrite the way you felt about yourself at a higher weight, and you know what a new normal is. Not saying that we were ever abnormal or insufficient or nothing like that, but the new normal is like living in true happiness, and I think that losing weight helps with that, but it is found along the journey. And I think, you know, it's always key to say, especially with newbie listeners and that kind of stuff, that like you have to wait for a little bit of the weight to fall off, you know, a week, 2 weeks, that kind of stuff. But you don't have to wait for the joy in that moment, the joy of showing up for you and actually doing that. You know, that's one thing, like, because as we start to live in that joy, it becomes more, have the ability to duplicate that and like truly live, like you said, you know. So I think that's cool because, like you said earlier, like when you look at 100 pounds to lose, that goal is so far away you can't see it. But the obedience comes in that 1 week at a time, that passing by that moment at the stove on the Saturday night and saying, this is not going to stop me because I'm worth it. I'm going to push on, get back on track. I'm going to have another slip up, but I'm back on track. I'm going to have a great cruise and I'm back on track, because we know what it feels like when we do that, right?
Yep, that's right. And it's, you know, old Kelly, the all or nothing mentality, would go on a cruise and be like, you know what, I blew it. It's done. You know,
yeah.
I'm just going to, you know, and keep eating that way.
Yeah, 3 months later, 30 pounds later.
Yeah. So it feels good to you know, be able to enjoy life and just, you know, do things like that. And I didn't go completely off the rails crazy.
Yeah.
You know, we had the drink package, probably had too many drinks, or maybe I didn't, you know. I mean, I didn't get drunk, and you know, I enjoyed some fruity drinks that I never drink. I mean, I never had pina colada, ever.
Yeah.
I never have. I mean, I have a cold Miller Lite, and that's it. I mean, that's all. I don't touch or anything crazy. So I enjoyed Caribbean drinks and tried some different ones and stuff like that. I enjoyed it, you know, and I knew that I wasn't going to come back and keep drinking fruity drinks when I got back home, you know. So, but I think an important part of this journey too is, you know, where I am right now, I'm Lifetime, but that's by far no means the end. And I like the way Oprah has brought up a couple times about, you know, it's not about, you know, getting to the weight and getting to, you know, the charts say I should be 190 or whatever. It's about your health. If you're 20 pounds over what the charts say you are, but you're an active person and you work, you're active and your blood work is great and your doctor checks you out and you're healthy, you know, so you have 20 extra pounds on. You know, if you feel good in your skin, and you know, who says you have to be 150 or 160? Yeah, the BMI charts say that. Okay, fine. But for you, you have to decide, or whoever, where is the right place for you. People fight me tooth and nail with that and say, "Oh crap, you need to be, you know, 185, whatever it is." And you're still overweight, and it's going to affect your health. Well, you know, I mean, it's what it is. It's all your journey, wherever you want to be. If you want to get to where the bottom of the chart is, if you want to get to where the middle of the chart is, or if you like a few pounds up where whatever section you want to be, you know, I mean, it's your style. It's your WW style. I mean, it is. And you can't let it, you know, dive into you and say you're wrong, because, you know, it's your way. And
it's your perfection.
Yep. And
so, all right, so what has it meant for you, like with this whole social media thing? You said you kind of really leaned into Connect at the beginning, and now you have an Instagram, and you have an Instagram girlfriend sitting next to you, who's also an ambassador who allows you to talk on her channel. You should probably bring her on for a little cameo and be like, "Look at this beautiful woman." Come on, Heidi. Also a fellow ambassador.
She's ready to check out. She's had a hard day at work. She's tired. But here she comes.
Woo! Hi. Also a WW rock star. Hi, Heidi. It's so great to finally meet you as well.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to know, like, what is this community like meant to you, and like Connect and Instagram and Heidi and all that, like when it all comes together, like just I call it actually telling your story. Like, you know, no one really, when they're at that heavy of a weight, tells the story of, well, I'm successful because of my health and this. But like as we lose the weight, we get more confident to tell a healthy story, like you were talking about. Like, what does it mean to be able to like to start to say those words and post and that kind of thing?
I mean, social media has been a big part of my journey, because one thing is, I need feedback. I need to be told, hey, you know, I'm doing great. I mean, or I'm not doing great. I like to share. I like to share, and I can't, if I go off a complete off the rails weekend and hold it in, then I need to get it out there, and social media has let me do that. And with crazy amount of followers, you know, the feedback is just constant, and it means so much to me. And the inspiration I get from other people's journeys, looking at your before and after pictures and listening to you and seeing other guys that are on this program and seeing their success. I mean, I never asked for a lot of followers, and anybody that's met me, and the one thing that I like about what the feedback I hear is, you know, what you see is what you get with me.
Yeah.
I am Kelly. Yeah. And there's no crap. And anybody that's met me in person will tell you that. You know, he really is a good guy. I am a good guy. I like being a good guy.
Yeah.
Proud of that. I mean, I'm proud of the fact that nothing I post is fraud or fake I just share. I share. It helps me. It helps me to get that off my chest. It helps me to help other people when I hear the feedback from people saying, oh my gosh, you know, you're at work. I work in a cubicle. I sit for 9 hours a day. You just inspired me to get up and walk in circles, or just get up and move more. Mm-hmm. That it feels great to me that I help somebody. But then in tune comes back to me, like, keep doing it, man.
Yeah.
Because you're helping people, and it's helping me to keep moving and all that. So social media has been monstrous for me. Sometimes it becomes a stress for me as well, because, you know, that's always there. Gosh, I probably should post something on Connect. I probably should put something out there on Instagram sometimes, and I don't want to. Yeah. You know, sometimes you don't want to share. You don't want to throw it on social media. Sometimes you want to take a couple days and just be with yourself or with your love, or whoever, and you don't want to throw your life out there. But we choose, as influencers who are on this, you know, who have some followers, we choose to go back there. Why? Sorry about that. But
okay.
Why we choose to go back to? Are you getting me? I think
I can see you.
Power mode or something. Okay. Here, we're gonna plug it in.
Oh, that's fine. There we go. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it's better if you lean forward like that.
Okay.
Cool.
Is that good? All good?
Yeah. So I think we've probably got like 3 or 4 minutes. and I am super appreciative that y'all could both come on. Thanks for Heidi for saving the day, and good luck tomorrow while you're phone shopping. But so I always like to open up the door for you if you have any questions for me, because most of the time we don't do any like pre-questionnaire, that kind of stuff. I like these to be truly authentic and that kind of stuff. Some people do ask me like what I ask, and I always do the same thing. I say, well, I'm going to ask how you ever learned about WW, and we're going to talk about the 3 tenets. So I don't want to program people with too many of the questions, because I want it to be truly genuine and authentic. So anyway, I love to end with anybody have a question to ask what you would like to know about me. So if you have any questions, you can ask now.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so how much weight have you lost, and where are you in your journey?
Okay, so I started on,
because I don't know your start date and everything.
Oh, okay. So I started on November the 28th, 2017. I weighed 396 pounds. And so that is 2 years and 2 months and some days. And I have lost 146 point something pounds. So that puts me at 250 pounds, right? 250.7 or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
It's pretty insane. And the crazy thing for me, and I really try to always keep that number, the number that I've lost, very present to me. Not the number that I'm going towards, like the 220 that you want to weigh. I probably want to end up about there as well. But the number that I've lost, I've always tried to represent with something. So I started a hashtag called WWSMYLE. So that's WW Show Me Your Losses, everyone, smile. And it is a picture holding something that is the equivalent of what you've lost. So now having lost 146 pounds, you got to find some really heavy crap. So I got pictures of me holding 120 pounds of dog food. I got pictures of me holding 140 pounds of dumbbells, all kinds of stuff. But every time I go to the gym, I always pick up 2 dumbbells that weigh that amount. So right now I have to pick up 2 75s, a 75 in each hand, and pick it up. And I shrug it like this 10 times every time. I do not go to the gym if I don't do that, because I want to know what it's like to feel that weight. And so that's just one of the things that I do. And now that I'm able to do that, and I mean, like, that is 170, so I love doing that. And it makes me really stay in tune with the fact that what I have lost is amazing. But it's not because that is an amazing number. It's because I did the amazing work, and I continue to do it. And I love following this plan, Yeah,
that's incredible. Wow.
So you have any other questions before? At some point, Instagram will just cut us off. So they only let us go for an hour. So I don't remember exactly when we started, because we got started a little bit late. But we're going to get just, and it'll be done.
They're going to say you're done.
No, it will cut us off whenever we're done. But if you have another question, we can ask it, or whatever you want to talk about. We can talk about fishing, since you like talking me and outside.
You live in Oklahoma?
Yeah, Oklahoma City. So where are y'all? Y'all in South Carolina, North Carolina? Where y'all at?
No, we're in Ohio.
Ohio. I don't know why I thought that. Ohio.
Cleveland, Ohio.
I don't know
where we are. I made the 2-hour drive up here to see Heidi. I'm off tomorrow. Tomorrow's my day off.
Okay.
And he works in the morning.
Columbus.
I live in Columbus.
Oh, okay. Well, go Bucks.
Yeah, go Bucks. OH.
Yeah, that's right. So I guess that you always grew up pretty close to Green Bay, and that's why you're a Packers fan?
Well, the reason why I'm a Packers fan is I grew up in Indiana, and we didn't have football. And my mom and dad were both from Wisconsin. Most of my family's from Wisconsin. So I grew up a cheesehead. I mean, my whole family.